For the first time in a long time, we have dropped below 5,000 sales in all of the Toronto Real Estate Board. And I'm going to get into it. This is a historic low for the month of July. And let's get right into the stats. I had actually asked a couple of weeks ago, I asked like, do you think July will be the slowest month of the year so far? Because up until now, it had been January, which kind of makes sense because winter is always slow. But 96% of you guys, so a lot of smart people watching these videos, 96% of you guys said that yes, July will be the slowest month of the year so far. And unfortunately, it is true. So this is what I did was when I saw the numbers come in and it was below 5,000, I was like, that seems historically low. So let me go back as far as the year 2000. So I pulled up every single July for every single year since the beginning of 2000. And right now we are experiencing historic lows because this is below 5,000 sales. And you can see this has not happened, not anywhere close to it, all the way up until the year 2000. So it is a scary time out there if you happen to be selling your house, but I think sometimes it's better to know the truth rather than just get like somebody who's going to be hyping up the market and before you know it, you're stuck in contracts because I hear that happens all the time. So let's get into the Oakville stats right now. So from here on, whatever I'm going to be covering is just for Oakville. And you can see the number of sales. I've been keeping track since the month of January. You can see every single month, like February, March was the peak of the market. That's not really a surprise. Everybody knows that by now. And you can see ever since the rate hikes kicked in, they've been going down ever since then, like 259, 257. Look at July, 162. That's beating out the slowest month of the year, which was January at 163. Now keep in mind all the stats I get are from the Toronto Real Estate Board. So now I also want to show you like a bit of a breakdown. Like detached homes make up of over 50% of the market in Oakville, followed by freehold townhouses, not a very big market for semi-detached homes, only at 7%. And condo townhouses are 9.5 and condos make up 13.9. So let's get into prices for Oakville right now. I've wasted enough of your time. You can see I've been keeping track since the beginning of the year. Look at the price that a detached home was selling for, 2.498. That's like $2.5 million. Now it has dropped to just above $2 million. That is a drop of $463,000 in just 7 months. That is a big amount. Imagine you had sold up here. You're probably laughing right now. If you bought up here in the month of January, February, yes, definitely there would be some regret. I know I would feel the same. Yeah, so that's the price it's going for right now, $2 million. So that's average prices. Now let's look at median. Detached median for Oakville homes, 2.3 they were selling for in the month of January, and now they're down to 1.6. That's a drop of $688,000. That is insane. Now, another thing was I did receive some constructive feedback, and I was breaking down average prices and median prices. And somebody commented, they said, this is fine, but it doesn't really give a true picture unless you show price ranges, like how many homes sold in each price range, just to get a better picture. And I'm always up for constructive feedback, good, positive, negative. It's all good because it helps me improve. So thanks for that. And what I did was I broke it down by prices. It took me a long time. I'm not a statistician by any means, or I'm not like expert on Microsoft Excel and all that stuff, but I got it done. And so what I've done is I've broken it down by price ranges, like 500 to million, million to 1.5, 1.5 to 2, 2.2 to 3 million, and 3 million plus, because there's a whole bunch of houses like that are very expensive in Oakville, as we all know. So this is the every single month, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You can see how the biggest range for this peak of the market was 1.5 to 2 million March, and 1 million to 1.5. And look at February, the highest price range was 2 million to 3 million dollars. Now you can see here like the lowest price range is 5 to 1, which is in blue. So that has been slowly climbing up. Like the most expensive I put was $3 million. It's in dark green. You can see they sold a whole bunch in March, but ever since then it has been going down steadily. Same with the $2 million to $3 million range. It has been going down since March, like right there. And oops, sorry. And yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps you guys out, because I broke it down by price and like how many sold each month in every single price range. Hopefully that's what she was talking about, like when she was mentioning this stuff here. And if you're watching, thanks for the feedback. I hope it did a good job. Okay, so now let's get into average prices. By the way, if you guys appreciate this kind of stuff, you know, because it takes me a long time. Like I said, I'm not an expert in YouTube or Microsoft Excel, nothing like that, you know, so it takes me a while. But if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, like stats and heavy and up-to-date stats, unbiased, please consider subscribing, because they'll kind of make my day and cheer me up. Let's get average prices for semi-detached. Semi-detached homes also peaked in the month of January. They were selling above $1.4 million. Now they're just under 1.1. That is a drop of $343,000 in a matter of months, which is still a lot. And like I mentioned before, semis don't make a big portion of the market, but I just wanted to cover them anyways, because just in case you happen to own a semi. Semi-detached homes, median prices. They were at the peak, they were at 1.45. Now they're just above 1 million. That's a drop of $410,000. Okay, freehold townhouses, because I know Oakville is a big market for freehold townhouses, especially in the north. There's a whole bunch of them, and very expensive townhouses up there. At the peak, they were right around the 1.43 mark. You can see they didn't really move much in January, February, March, and then they took a big drop, almost like a $200,000 drop in 1 month from March to April. Now they're selling at around $1.1 million. That is a drop of $332,000. Now also look at freehold townhouses median prices. They have dropped $288,000 in 7 months, and right now they're just about 1.1. Condo townhouses. So they were selling above $1.1 million, and now they're down to $800,000 or so. That's a drop of $250,000. Condo townhouses median, they have dropped only $40,000 since the beginning of the year. Okay, and condos averages. That's what I was talking about. Like condos have actually gone up if you look at it, and I'll explain this in a bit. They were selling at $839, and now the average price for a condo in Oakville in July was $938,000. That's actually up $100,000. Now, does this mean condo market is actually going up? Not necessarily. The reason this happens sometimes in Oakville is because Oakville has a lot of multi-million-dollar homes and condos. So sometimes what will happen is like 3-4 of them will sell in 1 month, and it shoots up the average like $100,000. And the next month, those 3-4 don't sell, and then it comes right back down. So you kind of have to kind of take this with a grain of salt. Like it does not mean that if you bought a condo in June and now you're up $100,000, it doesn't mean that, because you can see here they were selling at $700. These are median prices, and now they're at $662. But overall, like I mentioned before, condos always seem to survive these kinds of downturns, because they are still somewhat affordable, not very affordable, but somewhat affordable. Now let's compare it to last year, like, because some people want to know, okay, how's the market doing compared to last year? And I gotta move this thing around. So these are the average prices for every single category, like detached homes, semi-detached, freehold townhouses, condo townhouses, and condos. So this is Oakville only, and this is what they were selling for last July. And this is what they're selling for this month that just sold. So you can see here they're still up. You know, like if you look at every single one, they are still up. I mean, condos up by a lot, but like I mentioned before, I would kind of take this with a grain of salt. But the gap seems to be tightening. If I had pulled this up, you know, back in February, March, April, the gap would have been a lot more. Like the prices would have been a lot higher this year. But the gap seems to be tightening, so I think it shows you which way the market's going. I would not be surprised if we check back these prices in September, October, if these are actually lower than last year. So, but I will keep doing that. Now, let's look at what's actually for sale right now, because what I like to do in these videos is not just give you prices, because prices obviously are the most important. You know, everybody wants to know prices, and yeah, it makes sense. But if you guys want to know like day to day what's going on in the market, like get a real pulse for the market, um, this is what I want to show you guys. Right now, there are 562 listings available on the Toronto Real Estate Board for Oakville. And out of those, 129 of them have had to drop their price because they were not getting the price they were looking for. And out of the 562, 422 of them have been on the market for longer than 2 weeks. So why am I showing you this? Because I'm showing you this because I still see ads or flyers or Facebook ads where the agent's saying, oh, I'm going to sell your house in like 5 days. I sold a house on your street in the springtime for a record price. I'm sure he or she did that in the spring for a record price, but I doubt that any records are going to be getting broken in this market, especially at a higher price. So be careful of those kinds of ads. When you're talking to an agent, hopefully you're talking to me because I work in Oakville as well. And if you guys need honest advice, you know, some agent who's not going to, you know, fluff up the market, kind of hype up the market, or downplay what we're going through, give me a call because I've been around for about 20 years. And but I always give honest advice. And sometimes it's not pleasant to hear, but I think it's stuff you guys need to hear because the last thing you guys want to do is you get kind of hyped up into this thing, oh, your neighborhood's doing well, other neighborhoods are not doing so well, they're crashing, but your neighborhood's still in demand. So let's list it right away, sign, sign, sign. And before you know it, you're signed up in a contract that you can't get out of, and the house still doesn't sell, and 3-4 months go by. So if you don't want that happening, if you guys just want like the raw data and you know what's going on day to day, give me a call. Okay, so I also want to cover SNLR. SNLR just means it's like how many listings are coming up and how many are selling and like the ratio between them. So what they always say is that if it's above 60%, it is a seller's market. If it's below 40%, it is a buyer's market. Anything between is a balanced market. So what I did was I pulled up the peak of the market, which was February, and I compared it to this month, which is July, that just happened. So I'll be making videos on like Burlington and Milton later on, but right now we're just focusing on Oakville. Oakville at the peak of the market, the SNLR was 76.3, and now it has dropped to 60.2. Now, if you look at this, technically we are in a seller's market because anything above 60 is a seller's market. But I can tell you, just by being out there meeting clients, sellers, and buyers, we are not in a seller's market. At the most, we're in a balanced market. There are some areas where we are in a buyer's market. I think that's about it. But if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. And like I mentioned before, if you guys are looking for an honest agent who's going to give you the truth, because the last thing you guys want is somebody who downplays what's actually going on in the market. Give me a call because I've been around for 20 years and I'd love to help you guys out, whether you're thinking of buying or selling. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks. See you.